Good morning, students. Today I start with lesson 9, the stone cutter. Now, in this story, we will read about a stone cutter and how he changes into different things with the help of a spirit, and at the end, what he wants to become. So, this is a story like we yearn for something in life and we want to get that. So here a spirit is going to help him. So we will read the chapter. I will read and explain to you. So listen to it carefully. Now this chapter I am reading. Once upon a time there lived a stone cutter. Every day he went to a great rock in the side of a big mountain and cut out slabs for gravestones for houses. Now he was a stone cutter and there was a big rock on the side of a big mountain, and he used to cut that great rock. He used to cut from the side to make gravestones. Now gravestones are beta the Christians, they bury the body and on top they put a stone with the date of birth, date of death, and some quote they write. So that is a gravestone. Now he understood very well the kinds of stones needed for different purposes. And as he was a careful workman, he had plenty of customers. Now he was a very careful person and he knew his trade. He knew that for gravestone what kind of stone a person requires. If a person requires stone for the house, so what kind. So that way he was very vigilant. And because of this, he had many customers. For a long time he was happy and contented and asked for nothing better than what he had. So he was very happy with whatever he was doing and he was not wanting more. He was not craving for better things. Now in the mountain dwell a spirit. Dwell means lived, which appeared to men every now and then and helped them in many ways to become rich and prosperous. Now there was a spirit in the mountain and it used to help people to become happy and prosperous. The stone cutter, however, had never seen the spirit and only shook his head with an unbelieving air when anyone spoke of it. So when any person used to tell him that there is a spirit in the mountain and that spirit is helping to become rich and famous and prosperous, so he never used to believe because he thought there are no spirits around. But a time would come when he would change his opinion. So they thought that a time would come when he would think and believe, yes, there is a spirit. One day the stone cutter carried a gravestone to the house of a rich man and saw all sorts of beautiful things in the house, of which he had never dreamed. Now one day he had to deliver a gravestone to a rich man's house, so he saw such beautiful things there which he had never even dreamt of. Suddenly his daily work seemed to grow harder and heavier, and he said to himself, "Oh, if only I were a rich man and could sleep in a bed with silken curtains and golden tassels, how happy I should be." Now he was just looking at the comforts of the house and he said, "Oh God, if I had such beautiful silk curtains and golden tassels and everything a palace or a big house can have." And a voice answered him, "Your wish is heard, a rich man you shall be." Now the spirit said that whatever you wish for, you will be. At the sound of the voice, the stone cutter looked around but could see nobody. Now he heard the sound, but there was nobody to be seen. He thought it was all his fancy and picked up his tools and went home, for he did not feel inclined to work any more that day. Now, beta, he was just, imagining. He thought, and it was all his imagination. He said, "Oh, I'm just imagining that a spirit is talking to me." And he took his tools and went home because that day he was not in a mood to work any longer. But when he reached the little house where he lived, he stood still with amazement, for in place of his wooden hut stood a stately palace, filled with splendid furniture, and most splendid of all was the bed, in every respect like the one he had envied. He was beside himself with joy, and his old life was seen forgotten. Now, beta, saw a magnificent, stately means beta, a magnificent palace in place of his wooden hut. And beta, his envied means that he longed to possess something, because he was longing to be a rich man with all the stately comforts, with all the rich things which people can have. So he was like surprised, he was like amazed that wow, just see, I had a hut here and now just see the palace. And he was so happy that he forgot his old life as a stonecutter. It was now the beginning of summer, and each day the sun blazed more fiercely. Now, every day it was summertime, so sun was scorching. One morning, the heat was so great that the stonecutter could scarcely breathe, and he determined he would stay indoors till the sunset. Now, one day it was really, really very hot, and he could not even hardly he could breathe, and he was like sure that he would not go out, and he would stay indoors till the sun set. He was rather dull, for he had never learned how to amuse himself. Now he was living alone, so he had never taught himself how to be happy staying alone, and was peeping through the closed blinds to see what was going on in the street. Now he was just looking outside the window that what all is happening in the street, when a little carriage passed by, drawn by servants dressed in blue and silver. Now the carriage was there, and the servants were dressed in blue and silver color, sorry. In the carriage sat a prince with a golden umbrella held over his head to protect him from the sun rays. Now, in the carriage there was a prince going, and the servant was holding a golden umbrella. And why? To protect him from the sun rays. Oh, if I were only a prince, said the stonecutter to himself, as the carriage vanished around the corner. Oh, if I were only a prince, and could go in such a carriage and have a golden umbrella held over me, how happy I should be. Now he said, if God, I would be a prince, and I would be just traveling in a real grand manner with a servant holding a golden umbrella, what life I would be living. And a prince he was. Before his carriage rode one company of men, and another behind it. Servants dressed in scarlet and gold bore him along. Now, beta, they were dressed in scarlet color and gold, and they were going one set of horsemen in front and another at the back. Along the coveted umbrella held over his head. Coveted means beta, which you really desire strongly, because he was really desiring that a golden umbrella over his head, and he's driving in style. Yet he had everything his heart desired, yet it was not enough. He still looked around for something to wish for, and when he saw that in spite of the water he poured on the grass, the rays of the sun scorched it, and that in spite of the umbrella held over his head each day, his face grew browner and browner. He cried in anger, "The sun is mightier than I. Oh, if I were only the sun." Now he was watering the grass in his garden, but the heat of the sun was burning the grass, and his skin was going browner and browner daily, even by holding the umbrella. So he said that sun is stronger than me, than if I were only the sun. And the mountain spirit answered, "Your wish is heard, the sun you shall be." So the spirit said, "Okay, if you are wishing to become a sun, fine." And the sun he was, and felt himself proud in his glory. He shot his beams above and below, on earth and in heaven. He burnt up the grass in the fields, and scorched the faces of princesses as well as of poorer folk. Now he was so happy and so powerful he had become, so mighty he was, and better he was burning the grass in the fields. There were sunburns on the princess's face, and everywhere, but it was all bad. poor people were suffering because now it was like a drought, no rains, nothing. But in a short time he began to grow tired of his might, for there seemed nothing left to him for him to do. Now he had nothing else to do, only heat he could give. Discontent once more filled his soul, and when a cloud covered his face and hid the earth from him, he cried in his anger, "Does the cloud hold captive my race, and is it mightier than I?" Now, beta, he was so dissatisfied that now a cloud came in front of him and blocked the earth from him. So he said, "Now look, the cloud is stronger than me." So he was very, very angry. And he said, "Oh God, if I would be the cloud." And the mountain spirit answered, "Your wish is heard, a cloud you shall be." Now the spirit said, "Okay, fine. If you want to be the cloud, fine. You will be a cloud." And a cloud he was, and lay between the sun and the earth. He caught the sun's beam and held them, and to his joy the earth grew green again, and flowers blossomed. Now, beta, became a cloud, and he came between the sun and the earth. And the cloud gave the real, this feeling of happiness, because now everything was cooling down. So now flowers were blossoming, the earth was growing green, but that was not enough for him. And for days and weeks he poured forth rain till the rivers overflowed their banks, and the crops of rice stood in water. Towns and villages were destroyed by the power of the rain. Only the great rock on the mountainside remained unmoved. Now there was a rock on the mountainside that did not move. Towns and villages were destroyed, floods were there, like everywhere there was destruction. But this mountain was held high, rock. The cloud was amazed at the sight and cried in wonder, "Is the rock then mightier than I? Oh, if I were only the rock." Now he said, "Now rock is more mightier than me, so I'll be a rock now." So he was not satisfied with anything. What he was getting, he was yearning for something else. And the mountain spirit answered, "Your wish is heard, the rock you shall be." Now the mountain spirit said, "Fine, now you become the rock." And a rock he was, and gloried in his power. Proudly he stood, and neither the heat of the sun nor the force of the rain could move him. Now nothing could move him, neither the heat nor the rain. "This is better than all," he said to himself. But one day he heard a strange noise at his feet, and when he looked down to see what it could be, he saw a stone cutter driving tools into his surface. Even as he looked, he could feel himself tremble, and soon a great block broke off and fell to the ground. Now one day he heard some noise, and he saw that a stone cutter was cutting a big block of stone from him. He was a rock, and the stone cutter was cutting a great block. Then he cried in wrath. Now, beta, he was very, very angry. Wrath means anger. "Is a mere child of earth mightier than a rock? Oh, if I were only a man." Now he was so angry, and he said, "This is a mere child. Human being is a small in front of everything, like a big rock or a cloud or a sun. And that little man is so strong." So he said, "Oh God, if I were only the man." And the mountain spirit answered, "Your wish is heard. A man once more you shall be." So he says, "Okay, you were a man. Now again, once more you will be a man." And a man he was once again, and by the sweat of his brow he toiled again. Now again he worked very hard at his trade of stone cutting. His bed was hard, now back to his hard bed, and his food scanty. Scanty means very little. But he had learned to be satisfied with it, and did not long to be something or somebody else. Now he did not want to become anybody or anything else but himself. And as he never asked for things he did not have, or desired to be greater and mightier than other people, he was happy at last, and never again heard the voice of the mountain spirit. And now, beta, he never asked for anything more. He did not have or he did not desire also to be a great or a mightier person than any other person. And he was happy at last with whatever he had. So what we have learned from this lesson, that we should be satisfied and happy with what we have. What God gives us, we should be happy. We should not yearn or long for things which we don't have, because they will not stay with us for long, because we are grabbing that, we are not earning, we are not getting. What God gives us according to our capacity, our strength. God knows better, beta, what to give and what not to give to a person. Today you are a rich man. With one blow, you will become a poor man. So you don't know, because God's, beta, they say that God, when He gives lots. When He takes. And God's doesn't have to shout at anyone. Slowly and calmly He will take away or give you. Just go, whatever God has given you, be happy and satisfied. Don't long for better things. If you have in luck or God wants to give you, He will definitely give you. So, whatever we have in life, be happy, be contented, be satisfied, and you will live a happy life. Thank you.